Okay, so this is just a quick little tutorial on how to make an infographic in Google Slides and bring in your data from Google Sheets. Okay, so right here I've got a nice little long infographic here. Okay, it's a little bit different than the normal slides that you would use. Okay, I've got a nice little title that stands out up top. I've got some visuals, I've got some pictures, I've got some graphs. This isn't entirely done yet, obviously, but it's in a work in progress. So what you want to focus in on is remember that infographics tell stories, and any kind of set of data tells some kind of story. So you're going to be taking that survey and the results that we had from the survey and tell some sort of story. You're going to want to keep it simple. So don't go in and try to get all these different things all the time. Try to focus in on maybe one or two different questions or three or four different questions, and then start to look at some different things in it. Maybe the percentage of people that said this, or the percentage of people that did this, or maybe you see that males and females have answered this question very differently. So you can kind of go through and try to figure out what story would be good to tell with the data. Okay, you can always get some data outside of the actual survey as well, but we want to focus in on the stuff that we collected. Okay, so what you're going to do really is make a nice little infographic that tells the story of that data. So in this case here, this was one of those questions that I asked you earlier, who would win in a fight, a beaver or Mr. Smith? And we're starting to build this whole infographic about just that one little question. Okay, so I'm showing different results. I'm showing how the grade 7s voted, how the grade 8s will vote, how males versus females voted, and you've got all this type of thing that actually adds up afterwards. Okay, now one thing that's key is to make sure that your infographic is very visual. Okay, so you don't want to have it just bland and boring. You want to make sure you have background images or colors or color schemes or whatever you want to be doing to make this look nice. Okay, and again, I should be able to start up here at the very top and slowly work my way down, and I should have a little bit of a story by the end of it all. And I should feel like, okay, this guy convinced me, or this girl convinced me about this topic. And he laid out the data nicely. He told a story, and now I believe what he's saying. Okay. Now, a couple things that are key about this is that when you're adding anything in, again, if you want to go color scheme stuff, you've got these little lovely shapes things. So you can take these little rectangles and you can make these your background. So if I wanted to just have a little section here, I could just put a little rectangle in there, grab whatever color I want. Okay, I'm going to right click on this so I can order it and send it to the back. So I'm going to go order, send to back, and now I've got a little color scheme that's in the back. I could go into this actual graph and delete the background. I'd have to do that in Google Sheets, but it's okay for now. Okay. Now, another thing that you're going to do is bring in your other things. So if I had created a graph right here, okay, I would actually want to. So I took this from a pivot table and I created this graph. Okay, all you have to do really is take this little three dots here, press the copy chart, and then you can go right back into Google Sheets and you can paste it right in. So Control V or just copy and paste it in. Then I always do paste unlinked. You can link it to the spreadsheet if you know you're going to keep editing and stuff, but it's always better just to, I think, make it exactly the way you want to and then paste it unlinked so it doesn't change at all. Okay, so you've got that lovely thing. You can move this around, you can shrink it, you can get it bigger and smaller, etc., and have it kind of work for you. Again, make sure all your colors are really the way you want them before you bring it in. Make sure you have your titles all figured out on your x-axis and your y-axis. But this is generally how you bring in your graphs from an infographic to a thing. The other thing you could do is just do a screenshot. If you do a screenshot, then you're just getting a JPEG thing. It might not be quite as sharp, but it will still work. Okay. All right. Hope that helped.